Good evening to you from the WYMT Sky Alert Weather Center. Brandon Robinson here tracking the first tornado warning of the evening in Rowan County on live pinpoint Doppler radar. Up to our north, this whole line has been kind of moving across parts of the state throughout the day, and they're getting some reports now, some rotation out of this cell up north. This tornado warning goes until, let's see here, I believe 7:45 for several counties, but the one we're focused on is Rowan County, and basically we all know city of Moorhead there in Rowan County, Moorhead State University. This cell now moving through parts of Bath County at a pretty good clip. Also just got a report of a 50-mile-an-hour wind gust from this cell moving through Bath County, but now moving, let's see here, through that area, moving to the northeast at 45. So at this point, this cell will clip the city of Moorhead for you. So you folks back up that direction. If you've got kids that might be going to school at Moorhead State University, you tell them right now this is the time to get into their safe spot, to get into shelter, and I'm sure the officials on campus are already doing that. The situation with this one, we do already have reports from the National Weather Service that back over in Montgomery County, a couple of counties back with this cell, that a couple of funnel clouds were spotted. Now again, those did not reach the ground, but some funnel clouds reported over in Montgomery County back toward Mount Sterling with this same cell. So racing across to the northeast at a pretty good clip at this point. If you're along I-64, if you're traveling up that way, if you know anybody traveling up that way, let them know that this is moving that general direction at this point. Now, again, it's a fast-moving system, but there has been some rotation being spotted in this. We'll take you in just a little closer here at this point. Again, still over in Bath County right now, but moving to the northeast at a pretty good clip. So now is the time to get those folks western Rowan County back up to Moorhead. You see as we get the updates in how fast it's moving. So let them know to get to their safe spot right now as we go into the nighttime hours. With any luck, we won't have a whole lot of these warnings to showcase here for you tonight to warn you about, but I think we could see a few as we still got some energy left over from daytime. Still very warm in a lot of areas, especially along to the east of where this is moving through at this point. So again, find you a safe spot. Go to the basement or the lowest point in your home up toward Rowan County, interior hallway, stay away from windows, and abandon those mobile homes to a safer spot. But again, this moving at a very fast clip. Let's see what else we have new information here. The Mesonet station over in Bath County, as we mentioned, 50-mile-an-hour wind gust just a couple of minutes ago at 7:10. It winds from the west-northwest, and this is now moving through Bath County at this point, moving to the northeast at 45 miles an hour. It's moving at a pretty good clip, so got just a couple of minutes there in central and western Rowan County to be getting in your safe spot as we speak. Again, if you're just joining us, our first tornado warning of the evening. This is for Rowan County up in northeastern Kentucky. That goes from now until 7:45 as we go into the evening hours. So again, this situation we want to kind of warn you about. We've been talking all day long about this cell, or this system, this squall line that's producing a lot of action along it as we go through into the evening hours here. And we talked about wind being a big factor. You can see right there it's almost trying to bow a little bit, which indicates that there could be some really strong straight line winds in that. So again, wind damage, a definite possibility. We'd already gotten a little bit back out of parts of southern Kentucky back down to Rockcastle County, so we know the winds are stout. The thing that concerns me with this cell specifically is we'd already had the reports coming in from spotters, even the 911 center over in Montgomery County, which is 2 counties away to the west, of funnel clouds. Again, those did not touch down. We do not have a confirmed report of a tornado, but at least the possibility is there. There is rotation on radar trying to show up at least a little bit enough for the National Weather Service to have enough confidence to issue this warning. So if you folks back up again toward Moorhead, if you've got kids going to school at Moorhead State, if you know folks up there, if you know family up there, especially in the central and western, even the northern parts of the county, now this is the time to let them know, hey, you need to get into a safe spot. You need to get into a shelter right now to be getting away from this storm. Temperatures still very warm. We know we're getting closer to nighttime, but that's helping to fire some of this instability as we go into the evening hours. But again, just kind of watching this to see right now. Shane Smith in studio with me trying to help me get a little more information in here, and he's checking some things on the radar. But at this point, we do not have any confirmed reports. We've got some rotation now showing up, as we mentioned, right here on Doppler, and we were kind of watching that earlier. And again, usually for the National Weather Service, even to issue a tornado warning, there has to be at least that Doppler radar indicated rotation, unless they've gotten a good spotter report on the ground there. So again, we're going to continue to watch this for you, but we've got storms now starting to move into the entire area, but this is the only warned storm we have now. That severe thunderstorm warning we had in Powell County, which is just a little bit to the south of this one, was allowed to expire. This is all that same cell that's moved through, but you can see across a big chunk of the area, we've got some storms trying to get some strength, including back over in Laurel County. That one's not warned right there in London, but it looks a little bit stout on radar. Also back over toward Jackson County, toward McKee, a couple of cells moving through there too, but the one really concerned about at this point, just because of the reports that we've had coming in from before, back over into Montgomery County, of the funnel clouds, that proves that there is at least rotation coming through with this cell. So again, we're going to continue to watch that as we go through in here to the next few minutes. Again, about the next 20 or so minutes, 25 minutes until 7:45, unless this expires here next little bit. Shane, if you can, take me back into Rowan County. Let me see if we can highlight some of these communities right there. I don't know exactly how updated we are on our maps for that area, but I think we may have some of those cities in there west of Moorhead along I-64. It's back toward Owingsville, so if you've been up that way, it's basically traveling right along the Interstate 64 corridor. US 60 right there goes out toward Cave Run Lake. Those areas kind of right there in the bullseye at this point. We're going to continue to watch that, but we're going to go ahead and look. There's Lakeview Heights, which is just outside of Moorhead to the west. You folks right there kind of in the line of fire again. Back toward Kentucky 32, the main artery, one of the main arteries that runs right through Moorhead, going back up toward Flemingsburg, that direction to Fleming County. So all you folks right there along those areas, we're also going to try to show you maybe some of these roads, some of these areas there that are trying to, this cell will be affecting here in the next few minutes. But again, if you're just joining us, tornado warning, our first one of the evening, and hopefully one of the few, hopefully we don't have any more, but this is our first one of the evening for Rowan County. That goes until 7:45. So if you know anybody up toward Moorhead, again, there's 111, and we got 158 that Shane's highlighting right there, some of the areas that might be seeing some of this. See how fast it's moving. The last report that we had out of this is moving to the northeast at 45 miles an hour. So if you know anybody that's outside of our area a little bit, if you know anybody back up toward Flemingsburg in Fleming County, some family may have somebody up there, that might be a good place to look for them as well, to let them know that this cell is coming toward them. But the western parts of Rowan County and the northern parts of Rowan County, I think the most under the gun now. I think back toward Moorhead, you're seeing some of that, I don't want to say weakening, but at least the weaker parts of the cell going through that area. Again, wind still a big factor possibly with this one, and we have gotten reports out of Montgomery County, which again where Mount Sterling is. You can see there are two counties back to the west earlier of some funnel clouds. So we do know, even live pinpoint Doppler radar is showing that there is rotation in this storm. So again, definitely want to show you that there. If we can we switch over to the other computer for just a minute? Always good to give out these tips, the tornado tips. Go to a basement or lowest point of your home, interior hallway or room. Stay away from windows and abandon those mobile homes. Find you a safer, more permanent structure there as we go through into the evening hours. All right, let's bounce back over to the live pinpoint Doppler radar. 7:24, we got about 20 minutes left on this morning as we go into the evening hours here. This is the only warned cell we have at this time. That's, again, going through the western and northern parts of Rowan County. And we are seeing another indication of rotation right there along I-64 just to the east of Owingsville, which is in Bath County, moving toward the Rowan County line. So it kind of gives you an indication where we're seeing that rotation. Again, I think wind is going to be a big factor with this one too. Let's see. Oh, we've actually got a little bit, I see that little bit of a notch trying to show up there too. Shane's drawing it out there for you. We could have a good possibility. That's where some of that stronger rotation trying to show up there. And again, we've gotten those reports in the past of funnel clouds with this. So we know there's rotating air there. So again, a bad situation possibly there in the western parts and northwestern parts of Rowan County to the west of Moorhead at this point, but it's along Interstate 64. So if you know anybody that might be traveling that direction tonight, if you know anybody that's up that way, if you know anybody that lives in Rowan County or even Fleming County, let them know they need to be getting to a safe spot right now. There's Sharkey Farmers. That's basically Cave Run Lake right there along 801. Been there many, many times when I was a student up at Moorhead State. There's 32, takes you from downtown Moorhead up toward Flemingsburg. So those areas right there under the gun as we speak. So if you're back up, if you know anybody that might be fishing on Cave Run Lake, we've had several nice days here recently, and a lot of folks might be taking some boats up there. This is the time. They're actually under the gun now. They need to be in their shelter. They need to be staying in that shelter for the next few minutes because, again, this is a very potent storm and a very dangerous storm because we know for a fact that there is rotation with this storm based on spotter reports on the ground back over in Montgomery County. We're still waiting on some information coming in from the National Weather Service, but again, nothing new since the warning went out. Last we heard a few minutes ago, it was moving to the northeast at a good clip, and we've seen that here on live pinpoint Doppler radar moving at a pretty good clip here as we go through into, again, remember, we talked about these just a second ago, but let's talk about these tips one more time for the folks in that area right there from Sharkey Farmers back up toward the Fleming County line. Go to the basement, lowest point of your home, interior hallway or room. Stay away from those windows. Just find you a permanent structure. A basement's always going to be the best, or a cellar, anywhere underground, so keep that in mind. But again, right there's the roads, 801, which literally runs right past Cave Run Lake, 32, 158, 211, all those areas right there kind of under the gun as we speak, going into here into the evening hours tonight. Now again, this warning goes until 7:45 this evening. We have reports of wind gusts coming down out of Bath County, which had just moved through, going into the evening hours here of over 50 miles or 50 miles an hour and upwards, out of the west-northwest, so we know there are stout winds with this. We're also going to see the possibility, just like we had down in Rockcastle County, with trees and limbs going down. So again, you do not want to be outside. You don't want to be trying to watch this storm, even if you're not in the most dangerous area, because you get a lot of wind that could be creating some major issues for you as you go through into the first part of the day. Let's switch over to the other computer real quick, trying to do some things here on this main computer. Let's go back to the tips. Again, let's go over these. We cannot stress these enough. Any type of severe weather event, when you've got severe weather coming through, tornadic or even just wind-based, go to a basement or lowest point of your home, interior hallway or room. Stay away from those windows and abandon those mobile homes. We want to get you to a more permanent structure. And again, just a situation that could be dangerous, very dangerous for those folks back up into the western and northwestern parts of Rowan County, and now into parts of southern Fleming County. Again, a little bit far north out of our area, but right there, Rowan County. That's the big one, especially we got the big university with Morehead State right there in the kind of in the crosshairs. So we're going to continue to stay with this one, as we always do, until these tornado warnings expire. This is the only warning. We mentioned this a while ago. This is the only warning we have in our area at this point. We're going to continue to track these throughout the evening, because there's still quite a bit of warm air still floating around across parts of the bluegrass and into the surrounding states as well. We're going to see that stay a factor until after dark, until we lose some of that daytime heating during the daytime hours. We're going to continue to deal with that as well. Shane, are you ready for us to switch back?
Yeah.
Okay, let's switch back over to live pinpoint Doppler radar. There we go. Some new information for you there coming in. 7:45, as mentioned, the tornado warning over in Rowan County. And again, you see right there, that's the main artery between Morehead and Flemingsburg, Kentucky 32, which is highlighted. You see the other counties included in this warning. Bath, which is almost clear of Bath County at this point. Elliott County, and now going back over that way. So again, take me just a little bit to the south. I want to see something, Shane. Although this system is moving kind of away, kind of give you some ideas of where it's not going to be a factor for us, because I know a lot of folks are thinking, oh, Morehead, that's West Liberty's close, Menifee County's close. All this is moving to the northeast, so it's moving away. But we also have more cells that are down that way. You see right there along 460 into parts of Menifee County, now just out of Powell County. That's part of that cell that had that severe thunderstorm warning over that way, now starting to travel or starting to get their act together back down south and pushing to the northeast at a pretty good clip that's going to start to move that way. So you see it there in the wider picture. So we're going to continue to watch those. But the only warning, the tornado warning we have right now is for Rowan County, and that goes again until 7:45. It's northwest of the city of Morehead, the bulk of the cell anyway. But again, we do know for a fact that there is rotation. Right there, we're seeing more rotation, even though it's a little bit out of Rowan County. It's over back to Bath County and Fleming County. But we are seeing rotation in this cell. And we've already had reports of some funnel clouds back off toward the west with this cell back over into Montgomery County earlier, back toward the Mount Sterling area. So we know that this is a particularly, possibly at least, dangerous situation as we go through into the evening hours here. Again, we're going to continue to see that tornado warning go for a little while longer. What is that, Shane?
Moving northeast at 45.
Yeah, northeast at 45. Putting a storm track on that for you. And, again, moving at a very, very, very fast clip there. So you see some of the communities that could be affected. There's the Hillsboro area. That's right there on the line. Plummer's Landing here in the next few minutes at 7:43. Ahead of Grassy, Camp Dix up that way. Carter Caves, if you know anybody back over that way. Heading back over toward Carter County and up toward the Ashland area. But at this point, we're still tracking this moving through Rowan County and parts of Fleming Fleming counties at this point, but I do believe right now, based on the current track of the system, the bulk of it, the worst part of it, the worst rotation, will miss the city of Moorhead proper. But I'm sure you're getting some good lightning and some good rain coming in there. But again, down to the south, even though that part right there we're highlighting with the darker orange is moving to the northeast, you've got more coming in from the southern parts of Rowan County that has spawned a new tornado warning back over toward Elliott County. And again, that's probably just going to try to clip the northwestern parts of that county again. But still, don't want to downplay this by any shape, form of the imagination, because to even have a tornado warning issued is always a situation where the folks at the Weather Service know that the possibility is there. And we've got in some areas, a very unstable atmosphere today, so we're going to be tracking this one for you again here for the next few minutes. But at this point, we don't have any new information coming in right now. We don't have anything else that's severe at this point. We don't have any other warnings right now, but the one in Rowan County again goes until 7:45. Zoom out there and we'll just kind of get a big picture shot of the entire region. There's the storms down south that came through into parts of Rockcastle, into Whitley and McCree counties that we had earlier. You'll see them here in just a second, basically going through time over the last little bit, how they've developed. This whole cell has basically, in the last 3 hours, kind of blew up a little bit, especially down into the southern parts of the area. We're going to watch it. Here it comes. You can see it coming out of parts of East Tennessee and Central Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, as we go through and came through there, spawning that first warning. And now the good news is for those communities behind it, parts of southern Kentucky, the I-75 corridor, the rain has cooled you down a lot. So you guys, the wind is still a factor possibly with that and the rain, but the severe aspect, everything behind the system, we're getting close to sunset, where we're getting some cooler temperatures from the rain and both from the sun going down. That's going to help those folks. But right now, again, still watching that situation. City of Moorhead, Moorhead State University, Lakeview Heights, you see all those areas right there along Interstate 64 back up into Rowan County. There's the new update coming through. Again, the area that was showing a little bit of rotation earlier to the north of the city of Moorhead. You see that little notch right there back up toward Fleming County. There, Shane's highlighting it right now. That is where the bulk, the worst of the rotation, the strongest rotation, that's what I'm trying to say there, will be at this point in the storm. So again, we're going to continue to track that. Wind damage, a definite possibility. Would not be surprised to see here. Okay, new report just coming in. They're going to continue that tornado warning for 7:45. The Rowan County Mesonet station reported a 52-mile-an-hour wind gust at 7:30. So just 4 minutes ago, winds out of the west-northwest. So a pretty stout Mesonet reading there. Those stations are sprinkled out throughout Kentucky, and in some of the places that the National Weather Service stations are not. But again, read this to you. Tornado warning until 7:45 for Rowan County at 7:25. This was moving, we showed you earlier, near the Sharkey Farmers exit on Interstate 64, and moving to the northeast still at a good clip at 45 miles an hour. So moving out of the area for us here in the bulk of eastern Kentucky. But again, we're watching that whole line right there because the possibility remains, at least until we get cooled down and get this atmosphere a little bit more stable, that we could have some more warnings pop up here in going into the evening hours. Very warm day temperatures. We're close to 80 degrees in a lot of areas. There, right there is the areas you're seeing. Rodburn, I actually used to live close to Rodburn there in Rowan County, just to the northwest of that, back towards Smile and Waltz. There's Plummer's Mill. We showed you on the storm track a few minutes ago. Hayes Crossing. There's Highway 377 and 799 as you go back over toward Elliott County and up toward you got, let's see, Fleming County up there, and I'm not sure what the other county on up there is. Geography is getting a little bit, as we get closer to the river, it gets a little bit less stout there. Let's see here. We've got that'd be Lewis County, back up toward Lewis County as we head into the nighttime hours here. But you see the bulk of this system, where you see that notch between Moorhead and Flemingsburg, that's where we're seeing the worst of the rotation at this point. So we're going to continue to watch that track off to the northeast at a very, very good clip. So you folks in the northern parts of Rowan County, the city of Moorhead, you are nearly clear. I don't want to say you're clear yet, but you're nearly clear from the worst of the storm. It's off to your north at this point, and you're seeing that go toward the northern parts of the county. But all those folks right there along I-64, Still seeing some of that of the worst part of the storm. It's moving off to the northeast at a very, very fast clip, so it will be going up toward Lewis County and over toward Carter County here in the next little bit. But again, I think the folks in Moorhead still need to stay in place, still need to stay in shelter until we get this system passed, because again, we do know in the past that this system has spawned some funnel clouds. And again, a funnel cloud does not mean it touches the ground, it means that it was spotted in the air. If it touches the ground, then it becomes an active tornado. And we have not had any reports of those at this point. And there's a new storm track moved to the northeast. There again, Carter Caves at 8:23, Hilda at 7:39, Waltz at 7:49, Camp Dix, and some other folks going up that way, kind of out of the area back over toward the Ashland area and Huntington back up that way. But again, if you're just joining us, tornado warning for Rowan County until 7:45. Now moving past to the north, basically, of the city of Moorhead. But you folks in the northern parts of the county, right there along Interstate 64, this cell has almost, even from Bath County to back over toward Owensville, traveled right along I-64 for the most part. We've gotten some pretty stout wind gusts from this system. 52 miles an hour just recorded a few minutes ago over into parts of in Rowan County. We had one from Bath County a little earlier that had about 50 miles an hour. So we know that the winds are stout with this system. Temperatures starting to go down just a little bit behind the rain here. We've got some updated temperatures coming in here. We're even in the 50s back out into parts of southern Kentucky where the rain's already come down. But again, some very warm temperatures even as far south as London, where it has rained. So again, we're not completely out of the woods, so to speak, with this severe threat at this point. But that squall line continues to move to the east and to the northeast as we go through the nighttime hours here. So we're going to continue to track this for you throughout the daytime hours and into the nighttime hours again. But I think once we get into the nighttime, we will start to lose some of that heat with some of that fuel that will fire off some of this instability. But there it is. There is the first tornado warning. We've had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings from this cell a little bit earlier, but it's to the north of Moorhead at this point, moving to the northeast at 45 miles an hour at the last report. So it's almost, for the most part, trying to get clear of Flemingsburg too. There it is with the latest sweep going through to the northeast now, Flemingsburg and Fleming County. But the northern parts there of Rowan County now seeing a pretty good system. We've lost a little bit. That notch still there, just a little bit, Shane, but we've lost some of that rotation, it looks like, with this system. But again, the reason we were concerned about this system in the first place is the fact that we'd had those confirmed funnel clouds back out when this whole cell had rolled through parts of Montgomery County back over toward the Mount Sterling area. Seeing some pretty good showers, probably a storm right there in Moorhead now. I'm sure you're probably getting some wind too. We got that good wind gust coming down. Okay, storm report coming in. It's just the one we had earlier from the Mesonet station, the 50-mile-an-hour wind gust over in Bath County. So again, I would not be surprised to see some trees down, some limbs down, because we're getting some pretty good wind reports out of this system here. So again, it's just a system that has a lot of this whole squall line has a lot of wind with it. So even if you're not under a warning, you kind of got to keep an eye on the winds, because we're going to continue to see that pretty stout over a good period, a good chunk of the evening before things finally start to calm down a little bit. Even if you don't have a severe thunderstorm warning, a tornado warning, again, those winds are going to be a big factor. We've talked about that all day and even earlier in the week. But so far, we've just had the one tornado warning. We had two other severe thunderstorm warnings earlier, but that goes here for about 6 more minutes till 7:45. Okay, there we go. We just literally, as we said that, expired the tornado warning for those counties there, so it has downgraded below the severe threshold. So we're going to continue to track these storms throughout the nighttime hours. But for now, let's get you back into regular programming.
We now join our regularly scheduled program, already in progress.
And I zip line in the